Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to give you some cooking tips so that you can save time, money, and still eat healthy. So let's get into it. Tip number one is all about ginger. I love fresh ginger root, and it's so delicious and healthy in Indian and Asian recipes, but when I'm short on time, it's a pain in the butt to mince it. And also if it's left in the fridge too long, it molds, so of course nobody likes that because it wastes money. So what I like to do is just wash it and then chop it up into chunks and then put it into a small food processor like this one, and I just mince it up. And then I like to use these bags that I found on Amazon. They're reusable and they save money too, because you're not just buying and throwing away bags upon bags all the time. So just mince up the ginger and then place it into your freezable bag and then just throw it into the freezer, and then when you're ready to make a meal that calls for fresh ginger root, just break off a piece and throw it into the pot. So this next tip is all about keeping your fresh snacking vegetables, or as I like to call them, crudités, at the ready and fresher longer so that you don't have to chop up these vegetables every time you want a snack. So here I'm just using carrots and celery, and all you want to do is just wash and dry your vegetables, of course, and then you can chop them up into long, thick strips. Then just get a glass mason jar and put your vegetables inside, and then just fill it up with fresh water. And then just put the lid on and put it in the fridge. And then you've got fresh vegetables at the ready. So this next tip saves a lot of time in the morning if you like to make smoothies for breakfast and you usually put in a bunch of different supplements and stuff. So instead of having to pull out each supplement one by one every morning, measuring each one and putting them into the blender one by one, I got a couple of these little containers. I used to use these for my kids when they were little. I'd put snacks in them. And these are cool because they've got separate compartments so that you can measure out all of your supplements and put what you need for one smoothie into each compartment. So then in the morning when you're in a hurry, you're not pulling each product and measuring them all out one by one, which can take a lot of time. So my fourth tip involves these great reusable bags again, and making your smoothie breakfast even quicker in the morning. So just put all the fruits and vegetables in here that you would need for one smoothie, and then throw the whole thing in the freezer, and then it's ready to go when you're ready to make your smoothie in the morning. So for my last tip, I like to make my own gluten-free flour mix for waffles and pancakes. This might not necessarily save time, but I think it does save some money. And I like to make my own custom mix anyway. So I use about a cup of white rice flour. I don't like to use brown rice because brown rice actually has arsenic in it. So then I use about a cup of almond flour, and you can actually omit this because almond flour is pretty expensive, but I like to use it. And then I use about a half a cup of coconut flour. And then I like to use the gluten-free oat flour. You got to make sure that it says gluten-free on it if you want your baking mix to be completely gluten-free. And then I like to use either tapioca flour or arrowroot flour or starch, and I use about a cup of that. And you can double this whole recipe as well and make, a bunch and it'll last you months and months. Then I do about a tablespoon or so of baking soda. And then, that saves time because then I don't have to add it when I'm making the pancakes. And then you can do like a little pinch of salt if you want. That's optional, of course. And then I just mix it up with a whisk, and then I put it into a glass ball jar. And it's really great to have on hand so that I don't have to, put the flour in one by one into my blender when I'm making pancakes or waffles. And then of course you want to label your container, and I just put gluten-free flour mix. So this saves me time in the morning when I'm making pancakes or waffles for me and my kids. So I want to thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to see more videos like this, and we'll see you next time.